Nobody tells you that the dream is free, but the journey will cost everyone around you everything they have. Level 1, the beginning. You are 8 years old and you already know. Not because someone told you, not because you read it somewhere, but because the moment your uncle's friend lets you sit behind the wheel of a cart at a small track near your hometown in Catalonia, something locks into place inside your chest that was always meant to be there. The track is cracked asphalt. The barriers are old tires painted white. None of that matters. What matters is the corner at the end of the back straight where you discover that you can carry more speed than anyone thinks you should. Your father is watching from behind a chain link fence. He is a plumber. He has never been to a race in his life. After 2 hours, the track owner walks over and says one sentence to him. That sentence rearranges the next decade of your family's life. Tires become a budget item discussed at the dinner table. Entry fees replace holidays. Your father begins taking Saturday shifts. Your mother learns to repair a kart engine from a YouTube channel. You win your first competition at 9 years old, and the trophy is plastic, and one of the letters is already falling off. You hold it like it is made of gold, because to you, it is. Level 2, the regional years. You are 13, and your name is known at every circuit within 200 kilometers. Not famous, known. There is a difference you are beginning to understand. The boys you race against now have professional mechanics and custom molded seats and fathers who speak on the phone using words like paddock pass and data acquisition. You have a laminated timing sheet your dad made at a print shop and a setup notebook you keep in a waterproof pouch. In the wet at a regional final, you qualify fastest by nearly half a second over a field of 31 drivers. A man with a lanyard and a quiet manner finds your father after the session ends. He says he works for a national development program. He takes a photograph of your cart number. He says they will be in touch. They are not in touch for 4 months. When the letter finally arrives, it is not a contract. It is an invitation to a selection weekend where 53 young drivers will compete for 8 places. You sleep badly for 2 weeks before it. You arrive and post the fastest time across all 3 evaluation sessions. You're selected. You learn that being the fastest is necessary, but it is not sufficient. Somebody still has to choose you, and somebody finally did. Level 3, the academy. You are 15 and living away from home for the first time in a city where you know nobody, and the language on street signs is not your language. The academy apartment has 4 beds and a shared bathroom and a kitchen where someone is always reheating something. The other 3 drivers are from Finland, Brazil, and South Korea. By the end of the first month, you can all make each other laugh. The simulator runs from before sunrise. The gym sessions run harder. On day 1, the program director tells 12 young drivers in a briefing room that the majority of them will not reach Formula 1. He says this without cruelty. He says it as a fact, the way a doctor reads numbers. You write a single word on a strip of tape and fix it to the inside brim of your helmet. Later, your first single-seater race, you qualify 14th. You finish 9th. You are the only driver in the field who has never driven a car with aerodynamic downforce before this season. By round 7, you are on the podium. By the final round, you are winning. The Academy's head of performance reviews your season data in a meeting that lasts 11 minutes. At the end, he says, your name will go forward for Formula 3 consideration. You walk out and stand in a corridor and breathe for a long time. Level 4, Formula 3. You are 17, and the circuits you are driving now are the same circuits you watched on a television screen as a child. The first time you take a high-speed corner that you always assumed lived only in cameras and commentary, something rewires permanently in the part of your brain that manages fear. You qualify 5th at the opening round. Your teammate qualifies 1st. The team gives him updated components before the race and explains it as an availability question. You say nothing. You finish the race 4th. He retires. The availability question never surfaces again. In the middle of the season, a rival catches you at a chicane and ends what would have been a podium. No penalty is issued. You find him in the paddock afterward. You shake his hand. You mean it. He means it too. You finish the championship 3rd and do not feel like someone who finished 3rd. You feel like someone who is now on 3 different lists of names that matter. Level 5, Formula 2. You are 19. The cars are genuinely violent now. Through the long, flat section in Baku, the steering column vibrates with a frequency that makes your vision blur slightly, and you learn to read that vibration the way a sailor reads wind. Your race engineer is a methodical Dutchman named Eric, who trusts data more than conversation. You learn to speak his language. With 3 rounds left in the season, you are inside the championship fight. 4 drivers, 19 points separating all of them. In the second to last round, you are leading when a yellow flag changes the sequence. You pit. You rejoin outside the top 3. You drive through the field and take the race win. A post-race review finds a procedural breach and you are assigned a penalty. The win becomes a 3rd place finish. Eric looks at you in the debrief, closes his folder, and says the same thing next week. You run the final 2 rounds and lose the title by 6 points. 6. But the teams watching your data do not see 6 points lost. They see a 19-year-old managing pressure with the temperament of someone who has been here for a decade. 3 teams request access to your full season telemetry. You understand the difference between racing and being evaluated. Level 6, the Formula 1 debut. You are 21. The credential around your neck has a different color now. The garage smells like money and precision and barely contained tension. During the first systems check on your installation lap, your mind goes completely blank for 3 seconds and you miss a sequence you have rehearsed in a simulator until it became unconscious. Your engineer waits. You find it. She moves the conversation forward as if the pause did not exist. You qualify 16th for the opening race and finish it 13th. Your teammate qualifies 8th and finishes 5th. In every press conference for the next 6 rounds, someone asks a version of the same question about the gap between you. You answer with composure because you were taught how. By mid-season, you are qualifying in the top 10. By round 11, you score your first championship points. The broadcast gives it 4 seconds of airtime. You watch those 4 seconds 40 times. Level 7, the established driver. You are 24. The team renewed your contract without a press release. It arrived as a document attachment on a Thursday. Nobody calls it a milestone. You score points consistently now. There is 1 race win. A night race in changing conditions where everything collapsed into your favor across the final 18 laps and you were untouchable. Those 18 laps live in a specific location in your memory that you return to with complete fidelity. But the season around them is difficult. The car is the 6th fastest on the grid in dry conditions, 5th in the wet. You extract more from it than the data says is available. The engineers know this. The other engineers in other garages know this. Your teammate is 20 years old and not yet familiar with consequences. The team shows you both your sector times side by side in a Tuesday review. Sector 1 is yours. Sector 3 is his. No one states what this means for the following year. They do not need to. You already understand the arithmetic. Level 8, the race winner. You are 27. A new team, a faster car, and a contract with a performance threshold that your lawyer advised you not to sign. You signed it anyway. In the first race of the season in Australia, you start from 2nd and lead from lap 4 and defend through a final lap attack that ends with you clear of the line. Your race engineer makes a sound you have never heard from her before. Your team principal is standing in the pit lane entrance with both hands over his face. You do not cry. You feel something older than emotion. A journalist in the post-race conference asks if this moment confirms your place among the elite. You sit with the question for a breath. You think of a boy in borrowed gear on cracked asphalt. You say that it points somewhere and that the rest takes longer. You win 4 times that season. The team designs elements of the following year's car around the feedback from your wrists and fingertips. You learn that victory is not an arrival. It is a new set of requirements. Level 9, the title fight. You are 29. There are 5 races remaining in the season, and you are trailing the championship by 14 points. The paddock has a different atmospheric pressure now. Everything is observed. Your sleep is monitored by a device on your wrist. Your preparation coach gives you advice you hear but cannot always follow. In Japan, you start from pole and lead from first corner to checkered flag and close the gap to 3 points. In the next round, a pit stop delay costs you the race lead and you finish outside the top 5. Your rival wins, 14 points again. You sit alone in the motorhome for 25 minutes and nobody knocks because they have been asked not to. You stand up, you return to the data. You win the penultimate round from 7th on the grid. Going into the final race, the points are equal. Everything reduces to a single afternoon. Level 10, the World Championship. You are 29 years old and you are in 2nd position with 12 laps remaining, and the title belongs to whoever crosses the line ahead of the other. Your tires are older. The gap is just over 2 seconds. You stop calculating and start driving in a way that is beyond technique, something that has no formal name, clarity that arrives when everything else has been eliminated. The gap falls. By the final complex of corners you are close enough to commit, you go for the inside line. There is contact. You hold, you are through, you take the line first. The radio fills with voices that become indistinguishable from each other. On the cooling lap, you allow a single thought to pass through you, uninterrupted. It began in a helmet too large for your head, and it ends here. In fading light, on a circuit the whole world is watching. Level 11, defending. You are 30. Every team spent the winter mapping your methods. The regulations shift, and the shift hurts your car more than the others. You finish 5th in round 1. The headline uses the word struggles. You put the phone away. You win Monaco with pure management, no fortune required, just craft accumulated across years that cannot be reverse engineered in a single winter. A mechanic with 2 decades in the sport catches your eye after the race and nods in a way that carries more than congratulation. Level 12, the veteran. You are 35. There are young drivers on this grid who are watching you win when they were in primary school. One of them tells you this in the paddock at Monza. You write your name on the inside of his visor, where no television camera will ever reach it. The seasons now vary in what they give. Some years the car is a weapon. Some years it is a compromise. You have learned to find the limit of both. You qualify 6th at Monza. He qualifies 2nd. Afterward, he asks you what the track asks of you through the high-speed sequence in Sector 2. You tell him everything without reservation. Level 13, the final season. You are 37. You announced it yourself in February, on your own terms, from a table in your home with ordinary daylight through the window, because you had found something that no circuit in the world prepared you for. Not exhaustion, not decline, stillness, a readiness to stop that arrived without grief. Every round carries the texture of a last time, last formation lap at Suzuka, last entry to the tunnel in Monaco. You finish the year 6th in the championship. You win twice. In the final race, you drive the opening lap as though the season is just beginning, and you finish 4th. And when your engineer asks if you have a message for the team, you wait for a moment and then you speak from a place that has no performance calculation in it. The garage holds the silence for several seconds before the first set of hands begins. Epilogue. After, you are 38. The helmet lives on a shelf at a height your hand can reach without effort. Some mornings in a quiet room, you lift it and hold it for a moment. Not nostalgia, something else. You mentor, you consult, you appear at 3 race weekends per year and decline the rest because you have earned the geography of your own calendar. At a small circuit near your hometown, close enough that the geography feels deliberate, a child in a helmet several sizes too large is being walked toward a secondhand cart by a parent who has no idea yet what they are agreeing to. You watch from the fence. You do not approach. You do not need to. You already know exactly what that child is about to discover, because 29 years ago, the answer to a question you asked on a Saturday morning with no money and no certainty was not yes or no. It was all of this.